But there is a bigger topic this week, and I think we need to dedicate a big portion of the show to it. So we're going to talk about Twitch leaks. And this all started basically with a tweet and a Bloomberg article that kind of came out hand in hand. There's a few things that are being considered for the partner program, and it's got to be made clear that this is not directly from Twitch. This is a leak of some sorts. Twitch haven't communicated this themselves, and they haven't even spoken about it at this point. I think there's probably been enough like inside sources, streamers sort of saying that they've heard rumors of this, that I think there's definitely some truth behind it. So the ideas within this restructure of the partner program are, and there's 5 of them, incentives for more ads, a new revenue split reduced from 70% to 50%, new tiers system for partners, no more exclusivity, so you can stream to different platforms, and the changes could be implemented as soon as this summer. Let's break these down one at a time, Ben, because there's different things to be annoyed about, but I also think there is some good news in this. Well, there's one bit of good news in this, and the rest are bad. So let's go one at a time. So incentives for more ads. When you think of Twitch, is there any part of you, from the viewer's perspective, that wants more ads?
Absolutely. I cannot get enough ads, Pete. I need more ads in my life. Yeah, so this is maybe not the biggest one from this list, even though really it's a big one for sure. And it's very vague, sort of. We don't know what this is going to be, right? It's just a leak. But incentives for more ads. So at face value, that looks like there's going to be more ads on Twitch, right? At the end of the day, whatever that looks like. Now, there could be some upside to that in a way for the creator if they give a better rev share on the ads. I've heard just how drastic the difference is between YouTube and Twitch on the ad cut for creator. So if you actually have a better cut, that could be nice for your income. But of course, the viewership experience with ads right now on Twitch is basically unwatchable for a lot of people. And I know a lot who use ad blocks and even pay for turbo, stuff like that, just to avoid the ads at this point because it's so wild. So I don't know. I'm worried about this one. If it makes a lot of more unskippable ads that really break up the content and make you not able to watch key moments, then it's not going to be good. But again, it's a rumor, so we're not exactly sure what exactly that'll look like. Pete, you have thoughts on this so far?
Yeah, I'll touch briefly on something that you mentioned there, which is the revenue split for ads on Twitch and how bad it is. Because right now it isn't done as a percentage of what Twitch earns in terms of when the advertising agency pays Twitch to play an advert to 1,000 people, 10,000 people, 100,000 people. Twitch doesn't share that money with the streamer that is playing the ad as a percentage. They pay sort of a flat rate, and they don't disclose any information really on what they're earning. Whereas YouTube does split the money, and it's built into their partnership program. So when you run an advert on YouTube, YouTube takes a cut, and you as the creator get a cut. So right now, the earnings that you can make as a streamer on Twitch from adverts is awful. It's such a small percentage of what people are making. I mean, the big streamers that are pulling in 40, 50,000 people, it probably is a substantial amount, but still way less than subscriptions, gifted subs, donations if you have donations enabled, all those kind of things. So when I see incentives for more ads, I'm really hoping that that's a restructuring of the ads program and some way of actually having a revenue split between Twitch and the creator for running those ads. But there is no news of that. All it says is incentives for more ads. So is that going to be just, kind of what we've seen with those bounties of if you run 3 minutes of ads every hour and you stream 40 hours this week, then we'll give you an extra $100? Is that what they mean by incentives for more ads? Because as a viewer and as a streamer, the last thing you want is to be pushing more ads, I think. And the control needs to remain with the streamers, right? There's nothing worse watching live content than getting an ad in a really key moment of a stream, whether that's, an esports title in a really clutch moment or a blooper when somebody's cooking in a cooking live stream. The control needs to stay with the streamers, and I'm worried that when I see incentives for more ads, that's going to mean a worse experience for viewers and probably a worse experience for streamers as well. And really, it's just Twitch or their overlords Amazon wanting to actually earn some money from this beast that is Twitch.
Well, and that's the other piece of it too. And this goes into some of the other pieces, but it is like Twitch is still not making money, right? So I understand that they have to try something to try and become profitable. It's just it has to be done right. And I think that the current ads experience is not good. It's not gonna help them grow the platform and therefore make more money at the end of the day. So I would love to see more of like, you know, the banner ads at the bottom, or like the multiplayer ads, which we talk a lot about, but I have not really seen much of those used since they were announced. So I don't know, the tech's there, they just got to use it. But the next piece kind of related to the revenue, I think this is maybe the biggest piece that got debated, Pete, from what I saw. And that is, there's a rumor that for the creators who have a 70-30% split. So this is if you get a sub on Twitch, you're taking 70% of that $5 and Twitch gets 30, which is usually only open to like the top creators or creators who work their way up sort of from the base 50-50. Those creators would be moved back down to 50%. And then that 20% difference would go back to Twitch. So this is, I think, the one that got the most attention, especially because, you know, obviously big streamers who are affected by this were probably pretty outspoken about it, since, especially for the mid to top creators, that's a really big pay cut if you're losing out that 20% of your sub for every sub and you're full time. So this one I think is the most concerning for people. And it's unclear if this is just for top creators, like if it's just the 70% people who moved down to 50, or if, you know, people at the 50 move down to 30, like it could be more than that because it's just a rumor. I think for now, we just know the 70 to 50, and that's kind of where the debate is. Pete, what do you think about seeing all this?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a few things to break down here. Firstly, this isn't default for all partners, the 70% split. And in fact, it's a really small percentage of partners that get this. It's kind of negotiated usually based on hitting certain metrics. You might be able to negotiate when you renew your contract that you get a better revenue split, and that is typically 70 to 30. But we're still talking about a really small percentage, and really we're talking about like the top echelons of Twitch that are on this 70%, 30% split. So I don't want people thinking it's all partners that get this, because it's not. The default partner contract is this kind of the same as affiliates. It's 50-50. This is something that I've heard Twitch has been trying to cut back on anyway. A lot of the creators that are already on 70% split that don't have huge viewerships are because they're kind of grandfathered. They've been partners for 5+ years, and it was like one of the incentives a long time ago, and it was fairly easy to negotiate, but it's certainly not standard. But yeah, this is affecting a really, really small portion of creators, but also kind of in some ways from Twitch's perspective, like the most important portion. They'll definitely think of the top echelons as the important ones because they're the ones that hold a lot of the viewership. So you don't want to piss these people off, because these are the people that taking a 20% pay cut on a substantial portion of that pie of income, which is subscriptions, gifted subs as well, is really significant. I think I saw some people doing the math on like the biggest creators with hundreds of thousands of subs, and this can be like $500,000 by the end of the year, how much the extra money they are losing if they go down to 50% revenue split. So that is enough definitely to be considering moving to a different platform. So exactly the same as you, I saw a lot of people talking about it. The people that were really outspoken were probably the people most affected. I've also seen the other side of it being like, you know, this doesn't affect me, it doesn't affect the largest number of creators on the platform, but we are talking about partners here. So this is already outside of the affiliate agreement anyway. So yeah, it's going to be significant if this does come into play, but at the same time, I think Twitch is going to be really careful about how they speak about this, because they don't want all of their big creators leaving, and this probably is big enough news to piss them off to leave to a rival platform. I mean, it kind of ties into the no more exclusivity, so let's just jump straight into that. I know that we're skipping probably the most boring bullet point from this, but no more exclusivity. This is the only good change in this lineup, unless incentives for more ads also includes like some kind of revenue split. No more exclusivity. I heard Devin also speak about this. Like, exclusivity is the most stupid part of the Twitch contract. The fact that it comes in at the affiliate tier is pure evil from Twitch. Like, there's no other way to say it. They've made the affiliate tier so easy to reach. Streamers get really excited because they're streaming and all of a sudden they're affiliates and they can start to earn money. They're made to sign a contract that makes sure that they can only live stream that content to Twitch, and they can't even post that content to YouTube for 24 hours. Like, it's just bonkers that this exists. It is in no way good for the creator. Like, there is no reason why exclusivity is something that a creator wants. It's purely from Twitch's point of view to make sure that people feel that they have to stream to Twitch, and Twitch is the only platform that they can stream to, and it's to try and stunt their growth on other platforms. I'm convinced on that. So this is a good change. This is a change that should happen regardless of whether this whole partnership restructure should happen. It should definitely happen at the affiliate tier, and it should happen at the partner tier as well, if I'm being completely honest, because it's just, in my opinion, it's pure evil from Twitch. It should never have been included, but it's been there since the very beginning. It's been there from, I think, 8, 9, 10 years ago when the partner scheme first came in. So no more exclusivity would be a huge change, I think, for Twitch. What do you think, Ben?
Yeah, I think this is the one potentially good thing out of this entire list, right? And like you said, it's kind of an archaic system that's just been on there, and I think it's just been kept around. But at this point, they're the only platform that really does it outside of, like when Sykkuno moves to YouTube, that's paying for exclusivity. But for most people, right, having exclusivity is only on Twitch. So if they were to remove this, that's a game changer. And I think if you're an affiliate, looking at this list overall, it's actually not as bad as you think, assuming that it comes out the way that it shows. The bad side is ads. If ads are forced, then that sucks. But theoretically, the revenue split change won't affect affiliates and the majority of creators who don't have the 70% cut. If you get exclusivity too, then that's a huge boost to your discoverability, especially for that small streamer who hasn't really been able to kind of break out yet. Like one thing I would love to be able to do is to simul stream on TikTok and push to Twitch, which I think actually is just great for Twitch as a platform. So I'm kind of surprised that they still have exclusivity, because a lot of times when people are streaming and multi-streaming, they're pushing people to Twitch at the end of the day. So theoretically, that's all these people who are marketing for you on other platforms to get more users to the site. So I think there's still a lot of upside there. I get why they're hesitant to do it. But yeah, I mean, at this point, it just feels so ancient and just kind of evil, like you said, on Twitch's part. And so I really hope they push through that regardless of the other platforms. I think it'd be a game changer for any people, even bigger streamers, right? But especially smaller streamers just need all the coverage you can get to try and grow your audience at the same time.
Let's touch on the last point, the one that we kind of skipped over, the new tier system. I think this is something that's kind of already been happening on the back end of the Twitch partner program anyway. Like we mentioned, not every partner has the 70-30 split. In fact, only a very small portion of them do. So I wouldn't be surprised if somewhere in Twitch HQ, there's like an Excel spreadsheet with some kind of tier system of which streamers can get the 70% split and other incentives. But maybe it's going to be a bit of a nicer back-end feature where you can see what tier of partner you are and what you can do to reach the next tier. The whole path to partner, path to affiliate type thing that Twitch does. I think that's reasonably well done in terms of it encourages the right kind of behaviors. Maybe we're going to see a more public version. Did you read into it in any other way than that, Ben?
Yeah, just looking at the article, it sounds like it's going to be one or the other. So either they're going to remove all the 70% and go down to 50, or they'll do a new tier system, and maybe they'd reset people as part of that, but then you might still have the 70 or some higher cut that you would work your way up to. I think that it would be nice to have a clear system for that, like you said, because even thinking back to partnership used to be very vague on how you apply for that and get that. And so now you have like the clear 75 average viewers, and here's your criteria to go apply, and here's what you need. So having that kind of goal to set, I think would be nice for the tier system if they keep that option. But again, that's assuming they actually keep the revenue split, which Twitch is not necessarily incentivized to do if they want to become more profitable. So we'll see. This is all rumors, and we have the only timeline we have is that changes could be implemented this summer. So that's pretty vague. Not sure exactly when that will be. Props to whoever leaked that internally to get some word out, because I think if they had released this kind of like they did for the boost my stream type thing, there would have been even worse backlash initially. So this kind of helps even Twitch maybe test the waters a little bit and see what people are thinking for the initial concept.